ऑडियंस का
नहीं नहीं लाइव
करूँ स्मितिन को?
हाँ
Hello everyone. We're just waiting for our speaker to join, then we'll begin shortly. Hi Smitin.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too.
Yeah,
So good to see you after so long.
yeah, same here.
So I think we can wait for more people for a few times and then we can just begin. Or
Yeah,
shall
yeah,
we?
sure.
Yeah. Because more people are joining in.
Actually, I was also in middle of my dance class, and I'm like kind of
Okay.
sneaking out and attending this.
Okay. So how was the day?
Yeah, it was nice. Like I just came from office, and um,
Okay.
yeah, I was like eager to have an interaction with Lambda since it is Pride month and it is my first live session for this month, beginning with Lambda.
We are grateful to have you with us. Of course, an alumnus of IITG. It's a great pleasure for us to host you.
Thank you.
So, since a lot of people have joined, like, should we just go ahead with it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, before you begin, so welcome to this live session. I am Shivangi from Lambda. We are so glad to have you with us tonight. So, just to begin with, I would like to introduce Smitin. So, he has done his undergraduate from in BTech Chemical Engineering from Nagpur University from 2014. He is basically from Mumbai. And then after a few years of working as a teacher for biology and chemistry, he pursued his MTech from IIT Guwahati from 2019 to 2021. So now he is in Pune. Right now you're in Pune.
No, right now I'm in Hyderabad.
Hyderabad. I'm so sorry. Right now he is in Hyderabad
Yeah.
working as a teacher and a mentor. So I think there is a lot that can be said. More than as an academician, he is a phenomenal artist that we all know. And Smitin art is reaching to the every corner of the world. That is something we all are aware about. So words will fall short to describe you. So I would like you to just go ahead, Smitin, with and share your experiences on campus and off campus both. So, of course, since you are an alumnus of IIT Guwahati, we would surely like to know about how what inspired you to just come out and the things, the challenges that you face and your story of your coming out. And apart from that, how you are still dealing with things at your end.
Yeah.
And we want you to just encourage people to, of course, know that Lambda is in the place that are still open for everybody who are still looking for a space to come out.
Yes, sure. So, first of all, I'm more than glad to see that Lambda is active again. And so, Lambda was established like it's like every IIT has a peer group. So, Lambda came into existence in 2018 itself after the decriminalization of 377. So, that time there were people to conduct some events, but then somehow Lambda was not active for some time. And I happened to be there in campus at that time, and I came out through my performances. So, actually speaking, my official coming out happened in IIT Bombay during the Inter IIT Cultural Meet. So, I didn't
Okay.
intend it at all. Like, I was still
Okay.
closeted when I got into IIT Guwahati. I got into IIT Guwahati because the very reason to get into IIT was to explore myself, to interact with young people, and I know because young people are more accepting, and IIT is a place where obviously well-educated people come, and the chances of acceptance and good experience was more. So that's why I decided I should get into IIT and explore myself. So I was exploring. It had been like 4 to 5 months since I was in IIT, and obviously I got into dance. And Inter IIT Cultural Meet is one of the very huge event which happens every year, where people from all different IITs they come together to compete. So I had got selected for the dance crew, and the thing was, IIT Inter IIT Cultural Meet had introduced fashion show for the very first time that year itself. So the
Which
theme
IIT? Which IIT?
IIT Bombay. So this like during 2019, the Inter IIT Cultural Meet was conducted by IIT Bombay. So they introduced fashion show for the first time, and because every year the things are fixed, like there is dance, there is music, there is drama. So we already have this club, but fashion show was something new, and every IIT was trying their best to do. So in our IIT also we have this fine arts club called Finesse. So these people took up and they were like, okay, we'll do the fashion show. So the person who was coordinating was Soumya, and she came up with an idea that we should make fashion for everyone. Like fashion is for all, irrespective of their gender, color, height, and all this thing. That was the theme which she thought. So the team thought we should
Oh,
have a character which is like a gay character, to be specific, to show that clothes don't have a gender, and that even a man can wear something which generally is worn by a woman. So they had this thought in their mind, and they were looking for someone who could walk in that. So there was a friend of mine who approached me and said that would you like to do this? Would you like to you'll have to walk in heels, and you'll have to wear a crop top and hula hoops and makeup. So initially I was little skeptical about that how, like, because obviously I was not out and open, and I had never walked in heels, so I was like little bit worried and scared that whether I'd be able to do. But I was like, I always believe in trying new things and exploring and accepting new challenges. So I was like, okay, let me take it up as a challenge, and it is something new and interesting. So she handed me her pair of heels, and she was like, okay, just try it. And I wore it, and obviously I was like not able to balance that well, but I felt some spark. Like I felt really something exciting and interesting, and I was like, no, I will do this. I'll practice, and I have to do this. And they gave me a crop top also, so I was like,
was that the first time you wore a heel
yeah,
in
that
your
was
life?
the
Like,
first time. Yeah, that was the first time, and I never thought, never ever it came in my mind that I can wear heels and walk in it.
okay.
So thanks to
So basically, that was a game-changing situation for you. Like,
yeah,
kind of.
actually it was, because always see, you will find lot of fewer people or lot of people from community, especially men. They have always been bullied or looked down upon for the feminine aspects in them,
Yeah.
even from the people within the community. Like maybe because it's because I personally feel it's because of the patriarchy that people look down upon not just women but anything which is related to women. Like for example, if a girl dresses up
Feminine.
like a man, yeah, if a girl wears t-shirts, shorts, cap, jeans, everything, which are so called clothes of like male dominated clothes. So people won't mind. I mean, they will be completely normal. Or at times, if a girl does something which a guy does, people will appreciate her. Like oh, she's also able to lift
Yeah.
weight. She's also
Yeah.
able to ride a bike. So people generally look up upon them because just because she is doing
Yes.
things which are done by men. But if the vice versa happens, that a man does something which is traditionally meant for women, like applying makeup or wearing heels, so they are looked down upon. So this shows that there is so much inequality, and that is because the women are still looked down upon. It's obviously completely wrong. So that's why growing up as a child, I always liked things which are artistic, and obviously I say it openly, like woman is by default an artistic personality. If you say they have so many things.
Actually, it is always assumed for a woman to dress in, the both
Yeah,
gendered clothes. Like it has
yeah,
always been acceptable. But coming it from male, it has always been
yeah,
stigmatized.
yeah, and I
And
always
since
love
I think when they are children also they are discouraged, for wearing
exactly,
feminine dresses and attire.
exactly.
But women are never discouraged on that
Yeah,
ground.
yeah. So somehow that discrimination is there, which is, and men obviously suffer more because of it, because they are bullied, they are like, whether it is parents, friends, even people from community, they like, kind of, try to be away from them. So that is why I always speak about the femphobia. There's a word for it called femphobia. That just like homophobia and
Yes.
transphobia. So femphobia is like guys who are into feminine things, people kind of are averse towards them. So which is obviously not a correct thing. See, people might have preferences that they like certain type of people, but phobia is never justified. You can never justify phobia under the name of preference. So
That
yeah,
is why the phobia is almost irrational.
yeah,
That
irrational.
is.
Right. So as a child, I was always discouraged to do something which is feminine. So although I wanted to do, but that fear was there. So when they told me that you have to wear heels, you have to wear hula hoops, you have to, wear crop top, that was like height of like, lot of feminine things altogether. I was initially a little scared and skeptical. I wanted to do, but some fear was there. So, but then I was like, no, this is the time, this is the chance, since they are approaching on their own, and they showed. I'm very thankful to Soumya that she kind of encouraged me and all the people in that fashion show. We were group of 8 to 9 people, girls, boys, both. All of them, like kind of they were very open, normal, natural, and that really helped me. So that's why I'm always grateful to IIT Guwahati audience, because they are a lot of people are over there are accepting, encouraging, and that helped me to come out. So yeah, they gave me this task, so I started practicing in heels. I was doing
Yeah.
dance practice plus practice of fashion show, and then the day of fashion show
Mhm.
came, and I was already ready, dressed, and everything. And what they did was, in fashion show we were given capes at the end. So everyone was wearing a cape which had a message printed or written on it. So I had a
Hmm.
cape. So I walked in heels and people were cheering. And obviously the IIT Guwahati convocation, sorry, IIT Bombay convocation hall is used, and it was completely filled with all young people. And I came from there walking in heels, and I could hear the cheers and everything. So that really, boosted my confidence. And when I came
Must
wearing
have, yeah.
yeah, that cape had a message on it which said that in dictionary, gay means happy. So that had a clearly
Wow.
written message on it, and I just turned and I showed that, and it was actually like a coming out moment, because I was wearing it, I was showing that. So, and yeah, obviously people loved it. After the fashion show, also people came walk up to me and they encouraged me. They said good words, and we also won fourth prize in it. Although we had like put very less effort in terms of costume. We didn't had any elaborate costumes, but the theme, I think the theme carried us, and we could even reach to the place of getting fourth prize. So yeah, that was a life-changing moment for me. That I got very positive response from everyone, from the IIT Guwahati folk, from people from other IITs, and so this was in December 2019. And then in Jan 2020, like just 1 month after, in IIT Guwahati, we have this inter-hostel cultural events called Manthan. So where
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the
man.
hostels, yeah, compete together. So obviously, since I had come from IIT, like I had attended Inter-IIT Culture Meet, we had won first prize in duet competition. So I was in Brahmaputra hostel. So people were looking up to me for coming up with some good performances. So I participated in duet as well as group. So what
Okay.
happened was I chose a concept for duet which was more of a gender fluid dance. Like generally men dance on songs which are masculine or made for men, but we chose a song which was like Sharara Sharara by Asha Bhosale. So it's like a very song. Generally in childhood I used to see a lot of girls used to perform on that. So I thought this should be something different, that two guys performing on it. So I chose that, and we did a form called jazz funk, which is obviously more dominated by girls. Now guys also do. And my partner was not aware about it. Like the dance partner who I had, that person was not aware. But again, that person was very open towards it, so he agreed to do it. And we did fusion of all this, and it went really well. Like I got really amazing response from audience, and we also got a second prize in it. And so that was also one kind of a coming out moment that I was trying to, tell people that art is gender free and it's not
Yeah.
restricted to any gender. And then what one
So I
big,
think that was the first thing that you like performed here and that laid the stone of
yeah,
further coming out.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And the biggest moment of coming out was the group dance performance. So for that, I had kept the
Okay.
theme. I insisted them to keep a theme of colors of love or different shades of love. So in that, we had shown different shades like love for God, love for in country, love for festivals. So in that, at the end, last piece, I wanted to keep something related to love is love. So that thing. So again, I choreographed a piece on Teri Divani, which is a very famous song by Kailash Kher. And
Nothing seen here that
yeah,
video
so
films.
and I literally used all the props. Like I had used fans which were of rainbow color, and the entire theme, even the dialogues, I had added some dialogues which clearly indicated same-sex love. So until last day, no one, the group which was performing with me, they were not aware of this, that this is something related to LGBT. I kind of tried to, I had to hide it because I thought if initially I disclosed, they might not be ready to,
Hmm.
agree to perform. So the
Sink
last
in or just take it.
yeah, yeah. So the last moment again, when I made the poster, because the poster has message on it like love is love or love is gender free, this, then they got to know, oh, this is something related to LGBT. And obviously that was a moment they cannot back up because it's like the event is just next day. So they had to perform. And yeah, so and I kept that thing as last, and like audience like literally they cheered so much, and we won first prize in it, and it was the first time in history that Brahmaputra Hostel won first prize in a group dance competition. Generally other hostel is to win, so it was like a very encouraging thing. I clearly came out, and also it showed that people are supportive because the thing we got first prize in it, it means people really appreciated and understood it. So that's all. I mean, that was the that is how I started my journey of coming out. And after that, then in El Charinga, we conducted an event through Lambda. We again there we conducted a LGBT fashion show during El Charinga where we called people from outside. Homonna is the organization of Guwahati where a lot of LGBT folks are connected. So we called all of them, and all of them, like, it was first time in IIT Guwahati we had an LGBT fashion show, and again people were very receptive and open-minded. So this is how my journey of coming out started. Obviously, in between lockdown came and things got slowed down, but I then got active on my social media. I started expressing my views through social media, and also started coming out, expressing about my sexuality, orientation, and various struggles which I faced through social media. And yeah, that is how slowly I came out. And IIT Guwahati obviously played the most important role in my entire journey.
So, I mean, apart from like we have been seeing you like your art and dance everywhere. So, I mean, of course, I know it has been a beautiful journey, but we know the fact that nothing comes easy. There is
Yeah,
no cake work for all. So, like, I would just like to know about the challenges or the main, the backstage story. Like, what
yeah.
were the main struggle that you faced?
Yeah, so the greatest challenge I faced was like I mean the thing was although people appreciated me for who I am, what I was doing, but I didn't had that close friends which generally people have in colleges. Like especially I wanted to have friends from the community, from the LGBTQI community, but somehow I
Mm.
saw that when I came out, people who identified themselves as gay, bisexual, or whatever, they kind of kept a distance from me. So maybe the reason because they were fearful that if someone sees them with me, they might doubt them or whatever the reason might be. But I couldn't get friends from community in our college, and I felt quite lonely at times. Although I had other people, but they saw me as an artist. They appreciated me as an artist, but I wanted someone to see me more than beyond an artist, and to be like more close friend who knows about me everything from someone from community. So that thing I lacked, and I always felt sad about that one aspect. And so yeah, and another thing was obviously, like, family, parents, they were not that supportive already, and especially when I came out, obviously that was another thing that I had to face. There were a lot of arguments, and you know there were people who kind of tried telling me that don't do this or whatever. So yeah, these were the challenges, and obviously I was undergoing through depression and loneliness, to be honest. But then yeah, like I kind of diverted it to create something more artistic, and everything I had to do on my own, alone, single-handedly. So that was the biggest challenge which I faced.
So, I mean, I believe in that ways, this your art must have helped you back up with depression and thing that you were
Yes,
facing
very
in your.
much, very much. It's like, that's why I always say that dance is my first love and my all-time companion. Like I always
So, I
prioritize.
think
Yeah.
it must be like, just venting out your frustration while you perform something and you
Yeah.
just pouring it out,
It's
everything.
like just a medium for me to express myself, and it is a topmost priority above everything. So that, because I know that has helped me to come out of depression and phases where like I was really low, and I used dance not just to express happiness but to also express my sorrow, pain, and depression. So it's like a beautiful medium to just talk and express myself.
Then I like it must be pretty obvious that it might have hindered. I mean, since depression is not something that that is there for a certain time. It is something that
Yeah,
stays
yeah.
with you. So I'm pretty sure it must have hampered your academics as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
So,
another thing, since they are talking about academics, I would like to mention over here. Another challenge which I
mm,
faced was when I came out, obviously, professors also get to know in some way. So by the time I came out, I had completed my first
mm,
year, and I had completed all my subjects, and second year of MTech is project work or research work. So I was
mm,
under a
mm.
professor who was my guide, because MTech the guide is allotted. So I found that irrational discrimination from the professor's side. Although, like,
So what uh, did they get to know like direct means or like indirect
I
means they were
don't know.
aware of like what is it?
I'm not aware how did they get to know, but I think there are sources by which they'll get to know, because I was very much out and open in the campus, and another thing was I was
Mhm,
very active in various cultural activities of the campus. So maybe because of that,
mhm.
although I was doing my work sincerely, whatever thing was allotted to me, I was trying my best to do. But I saw that the professor was not, like I had my another classmate with me to guide
Smitin,
of mine, and the way I got treated, I could see the differentiation, and
okay.
that like went to the height towards the end of my project work, where the professor, like I could clearly see he had almost stopped guiding me, and he didn't at all support me in my project. And since the grades are also in the hands of professor, that also got affected because of this thing. Not just that, even after the project was
Mm,
done, everything was over, I officially completed my MTech, but I was still in the campus because I was looking for jobs, and because of personal problem, I cannot go back to my home. So I was still in the campus, and ideally we are allowed to stay till June, July end. But the professor
mm.
wrote a mail to the warden and everyone that this person has completed his project, and that's why that person should leave the campus. So this was like, going one step ahead to show your whatever discrimination and this thing is there. So this is one backlash which I faced, and obviously I didn't had what we say sources to defend myself or to approach someone, because I think this was the first time it was happening. There was no one out and open in our campus, so I couldn't speak for myself at that time because I was also in very vulnerable situation. But yeah, this was the thing
Okay.
which I faced towards the end.
So I mean, of course, but I think you came out again with the flying colors. That what we are
Yeah, I tried
like we
my
can see
best.
today.
Yeah, like I tried my best, and obviously it could have been better. But yeah, it's okay.
Uh-huh.
It's like challenges are always there, and some or the other negative
I think
aspect.
like
Right.
some challenges are there that that makes you and something that breaks you. But I think this is something that has made you. You will now be see a different Smitin from what we used to see a few years back.
Yeah.
And I'll request people if they have any questions, so they can
Yes,
put in the
please.
comment section, so it will be answered
Yeah,
by
please
Smitin. So
do ask if anyone wants to ask anything related to regarding anything
yeah.
regarding Pride Month, regarding myself, about Lambda. Please do ask the question. Type. We'll be more than happy to answer.
So we have a question from Tanay in the comments.
Mhm.
So he is asking, what are your suggestions for someone coming out in campus? What and where they can find the support?
Okay. So, see, to be honest, as I said, that the students, the campus janta is very accepting. If you are, not showcasing yourself as something, how to say, like if you're being yourself, irrespective of worrying what will people think, or what will they say, then you can be like, no one will bother you, basically. Like, people will appreciate you. Try to
Mhm.
participate in various activities, because that is what gives you a platform to express yourself. And yeah, Lambda is there. Like, as I said, during my time, Lambda was literally, I was the only person in Lambda, and Akash was there, but he was also not out and open at that time. So, but now there are a lot of people, and there are a lot, like, the Lambdas again become active. So you can always approach us if you have any query. We can talk it out. But to be honest, campus people are accepting, and you can surely obviously get a lot of friends who will accept you for who you are. But just be yourself. Don't be fearful of anything, and don't keep yourself isolated. Interact with people, participate in events. It will help you.
Okay. So, I mean, one more thing I would like to ask, like, what are you will suggest some, like people should be precautionary, or like they should be, because I understand how sexuality and gender are sometimes portrayed as, which is not the case most of the time. So, what are some of the precautions that people should take in order to, avoid some sort of discrimination, if any, that happens on the
Yeah,
campus?
yeah. Yeah, so the thing is, I mean, if you feel at any point if someone is trying to bully you, or creating a problem for you, you can obviously talk with someone. Don't try to keep it with yourself. And if you feel that you're in vulnerable situation, you can just keep distance from that particular person, and try not to let your academics get affected. Because if your academics will get affected, people will directly connect this to that. You're getting, like, they will directly connect your sexuality to that thing, which is like a obviously not a good thing. So don't let your
Hmm.
academics get affected. Be like, focus on it, because you are in IIT or in college mainly for the academics part. So make sure that that does not get affected. And if you're doing that well, then no one will have any right to point you out or say anything. Even if someone is bothering you, you can obviously approach us. There are a lot of people in the campus. We can help you out. You can talk to us. That and even we are trying to.
I think there are these counseling services, I mean, as well, like
Counseling
there are
services are
like
available.
counselors.
Yeah, yeah. We are
Hmm.
also trying to, get along with the welfare community, which generally says that they support LGBT people, but since they didn't have any volunteers, but now Lambda people are there. So officially also things can be done. There are a lot of people to help you out, so you need not worry.
Okay, so I think Smithin, there are a few questions from
Yeah.
these people who have joined. So there is one question, like, what is the origin name of Lambda? So of course, the Lambda is the name. There is no other another name for Lambda, and Lambda is a queer collective of IIT Guwahati. So when
Yes.
we talk of Lambda, so Lambda signifies the wavelength, the symbol of the wavelength,
Hmm.
and it further signifies, for example, if a ray of light falls on a glass
Prism.
or a surface, so when it reflects back, the reflection is usually it's in the wavelength. Like when the
Yeah.
reflection happens, a different spectrum of color is portrayed. So from there, this concept of lambda came. So this colorful expression of colors is basically what represents as LGBT community. And
Yes.
since
Yes.
it's a technical institute, of course, so thing will mostly
Yeah, yeah. I
go in a
really
bit
love,
technical way.
yeah, I personally love the name Lambda, because Lambda just, it's like a, in very just, it summarizes everything. Like, it's like all waves of the whatever colors we see is because of the wavelength of light. So Lambda is like, different wavelength spectrum of gender and sexuality
Yes.
institute. So yeah, that is how Lambda came into
Smitin,
existence.
yeah. We have one more question from Siddharth. Where do you find yourself in terms of being in your skin?
Can you please repeat the question?
Yes, the question is, where do you find yourself in terms of being in your skin?
Acha, where do I find myself? Well, if you're talking about, if you're asking me about my identity, whether it is related to gender, sexuality, then I identify myself as cisgender gay man. And although in terms of art, I'm gender fluid. Like the artistic thing which I do is more gender fluid. It's not connected only. Very
That's really
comfortable in
good,
my
Saki.
skin. I feel that, I always say this thing, I very much feel that I'm unique like my name. As such, everyone is unique, but I carry that uniqueness as my, a very important part of my personality. So yeah, I do feel very comfortable in my skin for who I am. And there's always a scope to be a better version of yourself, which I always keep trying.
So there is somebody asking, do you understand in Hindi? Yes, we are very comfortable in Hindi. If you want to ask anything, please go ahead.
हाँ, हिंदी में भी पूछ सकते हो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. Just express yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So how are things there where, like, for example, we know that you are in Hyderabad. So how about your opening up and the things there?
Yeah,
If you
Hyderabad
can.
also, when I came over here, I had to be kind of in closet again because it was a new place. So I don't know how people will respond, especially at my office. So for initial
Okay.
3 months, I was off social media and I was almost like back to closet. But then slowly I started opening up when people got to know me. See, this is one important point. When you are going to come out, make sure